So today I'm going to be making a video about my Medusa piercing. So it's been about 7.5 weeks. I think it's going to be 8 this upcoming Tuesday. And they say the healing time is about 6 to 8 weeks if you take care of it really well. So I thought that the 8-week mark would be perfect to make like a pros and cons video. Now, I love my piercing. I think it's really rad. I think it looks cool. I think it goes really well with my stretched ears when I have my gold jewelry in. I think it's nice with the nose piercing in. I think it looks nice, and I'm glad that I did it, but I don't know if I would have done it had I known the cons that I experienced. So I did my research. I watched a lot of videos before getting this piercing because I really, really wanted it. And there are a lot of cons out there that seem to be repeated, and I knew those. I knew that those are things that I should just be emotionally prepared for, but I had some things happen that I don't think I have come across anyone bringing up, and it's just like one or two. I just don't see anyone saying these, and I just wanted to be upfront and have a video out there in the universe that at least lets somebody know about these cons, because it was kind of brutal for me. I did not expect it to happen, so I wasn't prepared for, what it was like to be afraid to eat. This is going to be a video about the pros and the cons. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with the pros. I think it looks so cool. Flat out, I just think it looks cool. I mean, I wear a lot of gold jewelry. I have necklaces that I wear, my gauges. I have a couple that I just really like to wear, and I just feel like this guy right here just really adds to my aesthetic, my look. It looks like a really cool piercing, and the fact that it heals so much quicker than, these cartilage ones. It was a way of getting a really cool new piercing without committing to like a year of like healing time. And even my lobes, I pierced these two back in August, and they didn't like actually 100% get better until about the end of December. So even that was a commitment. So this was such a really easy decision. Positive number 2. Like I said before, the healing time on this piercing is so reasonable. I feel like to dedicate a year to like a cartilage piercing to heal, to me, is just daunting. This I think was 12 weeks, and even that was just daunting. Like I remember in August thinking, oh my goodness, 3 months. And even with a little bit of infection time, it was like 4 months. And there's just something about that just doesn't jive with me. Like thinking about it really psychs me out, and I don't want to do that. But this guy it healed so fast. I had previously, for about 3 years, I had a smiley piercing. It's the one that you get up here, like inside. It healed so fast. I barely knew it was there. The only thing was that I didn't know how to take out the little balls. So I did get it removed because I wasn't a fan of like having to take out the jewelry. I just could never figure it out. So this was like, I think the next best thing, or even like better than that, because it's something that I can wear like in front of my face, and the smiley just kind of hid underneath all the time, so it never really made sense to have it. So honestly, I think the look is really, really rad. Positive number 3. I think this piercing is very good at minding its own business. It really doesn't interfere with your day. I feel like when I got this piercing, I definitely experienced like some, like the bumps, the keloids that would just kind of develop on top. It would just hurt the way I would sleep. I would just have to make sure that I didn't like toss and turn like weirdly. This one was kind of difficult for me. Even the actual ring got stuck in a way that caused a keloid to just live there for like a year. So things like that, like this, sleeping on the sides of with your ears, it's just, I feel like every other piercing has been such a problem, and this is just so out of the way, is not bothering you. You don't really notice it. It just sits there in the middle of your face all day. Doesn't do anything, doesn't interfere. I think it's a matter of you being careful with it, but for the most part, for me, I have not had too many problems with it. So It's honestly such an easy piercing to just exist and heal, and you don't really notice it until you notice it. All right, so now I'm gonna do 3 cons. I'm not doing a lot of pros and I'm not doing a lot of cons because there's so many reasons why you should get this piercing, you know, and there's so many reasons why this piercing might be a little difficult for you. But I'm gonna point out or list 3 that for me were just so unexpected. I had no idea. Con number 1. My little ball right now is something that I put in, and I have been changing out the top of my jewelry for a while now. Like, it wasn't something that actually interfered with my piercing specifically. But when I got my Medusa pierced, my Philtrum pierced, I asked for a very, very small jewelry piece. I don't even have it anymore. I threw that sucker out because it just freaked me out what ended up happening. So this little guy was so small that it looked like really dainty on my upper lip. It just kind of sat there very small, and my idea was that if I was at work and for some reason like I didn't have my mask on, and so, like a superior or someone that worked at my job saw me, it wouldn't be too much of a big deal because it was so small. One of the reasons I got the piercing now was because we're wearing masks. No one will really see that I have it in, and then it gives me time for it to heal, and then to finally just get a bioflex post, and then figure it out from there. But I got it really, really tiny, like the tiniest little gem. It looked cute. It looked nice. I got my piercing done the 29th. That was like a Tuesday. Like a couple days later, it was Friday, and I was eating ribs with my family. And I love to eat. I get very excited when I eat. So I take big old bites. And this one rib, I just opened my mouth really wide. And I don't know if you see that, but my lip kind of goes over my teeth. And what had happened was, and I have a shorter bar, like right now, it's like 1.25 millimeters shorter, so it's not that much shorter, but it is helping. This guy, it's like a flat bottom, went over my teeth, like that flat bottom managed to go over my teeth, and I bit down. And my ribs were red, and I do not lie when I say it looked like I got the sauce all on my upper lip. All of this red on my upper lip because I ate my piercing through. I legit had the little gem in between like my lip, and the guy was just sticking underneath my lip. That's what happened. I literally bit my piercing through and was just gushing blood out of the top. My mom was just screaming. My dad was confused because he didn't know why she was screaming about sauce on my upper lip. And I'm just like there, like, oh my goodness. Because first off, like, it was an expensive piercing. I didn't want to lose the little guy. I was going to stick her right in. I was going to pull it right through and just do whatever I could to fix the situation. But it was honestly very painful. It was so unexpected. It was just, I was so scared to eat after that. And the fact of the matter is, it happened like 2 other times. One other time when I was eating, it happened again. Oh, it happened 3 other times because then after that, I was at work and I sneezed, and it happened at work. And the fourth and final time where I was just fed up was I was sleeping, and I think I yawned. That's what I did. I yawned, and somehow when I yawned, I closed my mouth, pulled the sucker straight through, and it was literally like 3 a.m. I got up like half asleep going to the bathroom, and the thing that ended up developing with the hole was because it was happening so often, the actual hole where my piercing was done, I guess, stretched, got wider. I was able to always just pop the piercing right back in, but it would still hurt. That was my biggest con, I have to say, was my biggest con, that like I couldn't eat, I couldn't yawn, I couldn't sneeze without biting this thing through. Like I would just bite the sucker right through my hole, and it hurt. But it was just something that I was always watching out for, and I would always like feel the actual bar like kind of sticking underneath my teeth, and I would sometimes just take it right out so I wouldn't bite into it. So that was definitely a con that I had not seen anyone say. I really have not seen anyone bring up that they have eaten their piercing through the hole. Like, it's happened. It might be because I asked for a small gem, but it was one of the options when I walked into the shop. The guy did say that he doesn't really like the titanium big old balls that just sit on the top of your lip. He offered to show me that one, and I really, really liked it because I did tell him, I was like, you know what, that does work. I want something small, low key for my job. So I'm not sure why that's not a con that's going around more, but it was a big con for me, like massive. I don't know if I would have gotten this piercing if I knew that I was just gonna eat my my whole thing through, my whole gem. So that's con number one. Okay, con number two, I don't know if it's just something that didn't bother everybody else as much as it bothers me, but it bothered me a lot. So as your piercing is healing, it does kind of like have its own like liquid or pus, I don't know, that kind of just like, you know, oozes out, and then you clean it with the salt water liquid that the piercer sold or gave to you. I think mine is salt water. He just sold me a bottle of something and said to always clean it up with. Somehow I feel like that actually dries out everything around my piercing more. So I don't know. I won't talk about that. But something that just kept happening was that like that liquid, that pussiness, whatever that came out from the piercing up would just accumulate in that bar. And I'm telling you, this is a shorter bar. My bar was long, and it would just accumulate to the point that it like my piercing wouldn't go in anymore. Like it would just always stick out like this. It was kind of like I was always talking like this. So it looks gross when you see all of that accumulation of crusty pus that just dried on your piercing. And two, it would hurt. Like it would just kind of feel like a pinch, like it would never go through. And sometimes I would just, and then it would just scratch the inside of the wound. Like it was really, really gross. And honestly, like I said about that solution that I got, I don't know if the solution is what dries up the pus so badly that it turns like that hard and it just kind of like builds up on the bar like that. But that happened to me a lot. I ended up not using the solution as often as the guy told me to, and that did help a little bit. It doesn't happen as often, but definitely something that happened was just the buildup of all of the pus or the saliva, or I don't know, would just kind of chill on the bar. So if you're on friends or if you're on family, they can see it. Like there's huge crusts just all up about your bar. It's in the middle of your face and it's pussy and crusty. And I was just constantly at work just kind of doing this, cleaning it out because it builds up really bad and it hurt. Now, con number three, I think, is a silly con. It's a silly con. Silly con. Just because I feel like there's something that I love to do, and it's I love rubbing my like towel on my face when I'm done like cleaning it. When I'm at the shower, there's something so good about that. And it happens with my clothes for sure. Like it's cold out, I wear knitted sweaters, and when I put a shirt over my head, it's definitely snagged onto my piercing, which is fine. You know, now I learned to just put the shirt over and just don't have it so pressed up against your face. But something else is, man, I can't even use a towel and like scrub it all over my face like I did before, or at least not now. I bought a flat gold disc, so when I'm able to finally downsize to something really, really nice and short and snug, the disc just sits on my, like above my Cupid's bow, and I'm praying and hoping that works. So that's a way that I can just, you know, get a towel and really go in there. But for now, it doesn't feel the same if you can't scrub your face with a towel, if you can't really just get in there and dry yourself up. It's not the same. Everything you do now with this piercing in the middle of your face, like you notice that there are a lot of things you can't do normally. Like you can't just clean your face with a towel normally. Putting on a shirt, you can't do that normally. You got to really pay attention to the fact that it's there and it could snag onto your knitted sweater. Something weird is when I blow my nose is very congested. You probably can hear it. It's very congested. I am constantly blowing my nose. When you blow your nose, it goes down meaning all of the mucus just kind of goes down towards the piercing. That's disgusting. It's unhygienic. I'm very paranoid. So I literally always got to scrub like the bar or whatever. But that's another thing. You can't even like clean your nose and then clean the upper lip after like your boogies come out. Normal. You really can't. Like I just go ahead and I pinch right underneath like that, and then I fold it, and then I just gotta like all along the sides, and then go on the bar with my solution. It's not the same. I didn't realize that, you know, doing a nice like avocado scrub or, you know, blowing my nose was going to be so different, but it very much is. That's a con for me, just because I didn't expect that things like that would be difficult or a little bit of a struggle, but they are. They are. So there you have it. Those are 3 pros, 3 cons. I'm not sure if anyone has talked about the cons or in great detail the way I have. But you know, for me, those pros outweigh the cons. A lot of the cons are happening while it's healing, while I have it for the first, 2 to 3 months, 4 months. And I anticipate that it won't take much longer for me to change out my bar, get a flatter top, you know, really just adjust to the piercing. And I think I've done pretty well. Like I said, it was the first 3 days when I ate my piercing through. So it was fresh. It was new. It was something that I had to like adjust to, like, you know, muscle memory on my mouth. I really have to just, I don't talk like this anymore, like bring my lip down. I kind of just talk with my teeth a little bit more exposed. I think it looks nice too, so it's fine. But the pros do outweigh the cons for me. I think in the long run, this piercing is going to be so much more manageable, so much easier to be like aware of when I'm, you know, putting a shirt on or scrubbing my face or blowing my nose, you know. So honestly, this piercing is well worth it. Just really wanted to put the cons out there for everyone thinking about getting it and trying to make that little T-chart list of pros and cons, you know, my 2 cents as to what my cons are, what cons are possible if you decide to get a teeny tiny little gem in your piercing. I think I will update on how this piercing is doing in at least like a four weeks, I think, you know, like, am I able to put in a smaller bar? What kind of jewelry am I able to put on top? Because I did find something really interesting happen to me when I was changing this out today. So I will be doing a follow-up video if you want to just, you know, stick around and wait for that to come out. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.